Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I introduce to you my presentation, SAS Flight 571, Pilot Betrayed. On Friday the 27th December 1991, a regular Scandinavian Airlines passenger flight, now famously known as SAS Flight 571, en route to Copenhagen, crash-landed in Gothenburg, Sweden. All 129 passengers, including the flight crew, survived, with only 92 injured and 8 severely injured, thanks to the expertise of the flight crew and Captain Stefan Rasmussen. One must ask what led to this accident happening in the first place. Through thorough scientific investigation for 2 years and testimonials of everyone on board, investigation teams were finally able to discover the events that led to this disaster. It was found that ice, yes ice, broken off from the plane's wing, was sucked into the engine. This clue was given away by the fact that there was soft dents present on the recovered fan blades of the engine, as you can see here. The atmospheric conditions were ideal for layers of ice and slush to gather upon the plane's body, but it was still inconclusive as to why ice managed to remain on the plane's wing, since the head technicians evidently ordered and received 2 sets of de-icing that day. The plane's condition was approved by both the technician and the captain, since it appeared to be fully de-iced. However, 25 seconds into flight, the layer of ice on the wing broke as the plane turned and the wings temporarily deformed to accommodate the weight of the plane. The ice was sucked in by the engine, which was unusually placed at the back of the wing, and it began to surge. Loud noises and huge vibrations were felt and heard by everyone on board. The DC-9, however, was made to withstand foreign objects in its engine, and through further investigation, it would realize that even though the pilot followed standard procedure, which was to throttle the engine down to reduce the surge, the engine increased to beyond full power. This was due to the implementation of a new safety feature of all SAS planes, known as automatic thrust restoration. This was introduced to prevent pilots from throttling down too low in residential areas. When Rasmussen reduced the throttle, the system read it as dangerously low and raised the thrust. This increased the surge and completely destroyed the engines, number 1 and 2. With no engine propulsion, the plane's only source of energy was its height, and the plane glided under expert hands until it crashed and its fuselage broke into 3 sections. The crashing of SAS 571 was due to the incompetence of both the SAS staff and the aircraft manufacturers. It was unethical of the head technician and his staff not to thoroughly inspect the plane for any sign of ice. It was also unethical that he did not raise any concern over having the appropriate equipment to fully inspect the plane's wings. And by extension, Captain Stefan Rasmussen was also liable, since it was his duty to ensure the safety of all passengers and crew on board. The majority of the blame, however, has to fall on Scandinavian Airlines, because they didn't have the proper procedure in place for the employees to follow to properly inspect the plane before takeoff. Finally, it was unprofessional of the plane manufacturers not to communicate with the airline management in a timely basis to alert them and educate the captains of the new ATR safety feature. Despite the good intentions, this breached their professional oath of protection of public safety. It often takes a disaster for safety measures to be properly enforced. In this case, Scandinavian Airlines modified their pre-flight routine, where mechanics and technicians were instructed to physically touch and inspect the plane for any sign of clear ice after the icing. Ladders were purchased to aid in this. Pilots were also trained to use the new ATR system. First Officer Ulf Södermark recovered and was able to return to aviation, but Captain Rasmussen was not, despite his best efforts. he made the ethical decision to leave since he deemed himself incapable of performing his duty.